Yeah, there's a reason, going back to one of my other core competencies, which is startups. There's a reason that this doctor chose to buy instead of doing a startup, because he wants to get a practice that's already down the road. If he wanted to do a startup, he or she could just go do a startup. So having that person on the team that's cross-trained, that, like I said, that's the favorite of some of the patients that are out there, low turnover rate, those are all things that can help enhance the value of the practice.
Welcome to another episode of the Irreplaceable Dental Team. As you can see, there's a familiar, handsome guy beside me. For those of you who tuned into part one, you remember Derek Leonard. He dropped so many gems the last time as we looked about the process of transitioning from one seller to a buyer. And today we're going to continue, but we're going to look at it from a different perspective. Derek, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much, Doctor. Congratulations also on your book. That's
Thank
exciting
you.
stuff.
Exciting stuff. So, you know, my heart lies with the team and making sure that the team is equipped and prepared. And a lot of that shows up in so many different ways. But today we want to show the value of pouring into your team when we look at the team value in the process of selling a practice. And I know that you are the startup guy. I know that you are the one who prepares buyers to purchase, but I also know that you're right there with the sellers and telling the one what they need to do to be properly equipped to make that transition run smoothly. So I got a quick question for you. How can selling dentists effectively communicate with their team about the transition process to maintain morale and productivity?
Honesty. Integrity. So keep in mind, a lot of, and you've seen this yourself, so you know that I know what I'm saying here. A lot of, I'm going to go with office managers. You can go lead clinician, you can do it however you want to do it. But a lot of office managers have literally been with the selling or exiting doctor 15, 20, sometimes 25 and 30 years. The doctor knows their children. They know what colleges they went to. They know their grandchildren and sometimes their great-grandchildren. So this person has been with you or the exiting doctor for literally 25, 30 years. So integrity, honesty, and empathy. And for those that don't know the difference between empathy and sympathy, empathy is putting yourself in that person's shoes. So what is going through the mind of somebody who just gave 30 years to someone else and that person is now leaving them? We can't find people to stay married for 30 years. So if this office manager has been with this doctor for 20, 25, 30 years, and now you're telling me that he's going to be going away, that's a very scary time for me. Yeah. So as the buyer of that practice, the communication needs to be, I hate to keep saying it, but honesty, integrity. Deliver the message with empathy, consistent communication. And of course, all of this is done after the purchase. You don't want to do it too soon. And we talked about this on the last show, but the earlier the better, because it's a growth opportunity for them. So mention to them again with empathy that, hey, we're all looking to grow, and give them that reassurance. And the last thing that I'm going to leave with you is have that open dialogue with them, not just the individual, but the entire team. If you have to call everybody together, ask the questions, the hard questions. Hey, what do you guys fear the most? What are you afraid of? And most people will say the same thing as, hey, I've given, because you have the older team members, but you also have some of the newer and younger team members. You may have a new mom. Hey, I just had a baby and my husband lost his job. I can't afford to lose this job. What are you going to do? What are you going to do about benefits? We didn't have benefits with the last doctor. So I don't have any benefits for my child. My husband just lost his job. Give me that reassurance that I'm in the right place instead of the fear to go and hit Indeed and try to find something else that's going to be better for me and my family.
So one of the things that you've hit on, Derek, is most people are afraid of having difficult conversations. But the truth is you can either control, support, enhance a situation, or say nothing and have the foundation undermined with the rumor mill and the guessing and the wondering and, the uncertainty. The truth is, if we are able to answer these questions up front, it makes the whole process so much less stressful, because everybody knows the sky is blue, the grass is green, and the sun is yellow. Nobody's wondering, is it going to be gray skies? Is the grass going to burn out and get brown? Having those conversations where everything is up front is key. Now, I have a question, Derek. What factors related to the dental team can enhance the value of a practice when it's being sold?
Like you said, we're looking at this from a different angle, but some of the answers are still the same. So team tenure, or we talked about a low turnover rate, is imperative. But I'm going to add one for you, cross-training. So if you're an employee, I like to call them associates, but if you want to go with employee, being cross-trained becomes valuable to the buying group, team, doctor, whatever you want to call it. And we talked about this a little bit the last time, but patient loyalty, we talked about every patient generally has a favorite staff member, and that's gold to an incoming buyer. So if you're the person that's on the team that has or is the favorite of a lot of patients, that's going to increase and improve the value of the practice, because having a well-trained, self-managing team signals operational strength, and that reduces buyer risk, which can and has affected valuation. And I just told you the last time that we talked about that whole 10x thing. If your practice goes up in profitability by 1 million, that doesn't increase the value by 1 million. It actually increases it by 10x. So it increases it by $10 million. So there are a ton of factors that you can do as a staff and staff member, staff team to enhance the value of the practice. And it all revolves around bottom line profitability, patient loyalty. Like I said, being able to be cross-trained. If somebody doesn't show up today, that function, that responsibility will still continue to go on, because the show must go on, as you know.
The show must go on. The show must go on. And, every dentist knows the value of cross-training team members. But I'm not sure that they see the value when they're thinking about selling a practice. Because there are certain things that, as a dentist, I know if I see that, that's a green check for me. And a lot of those things that are human things are not necessarily highlighted during the process. And it could make such a difference, because it means that the transition is going to be a lot smoother. We have a team that's got this. I just need to do my dentistry. And it's not that it's totally hands off, but they have a well-oiled, well-running machine. And that, my friend.
Yeah, there's a reason, going back to one of my other core competencies, which is startups. There's a reason that this doctor chose to buy instead of doing a startup, because he wants to get a practice that's already down the road. If he wanted to do a startup, he or she could just go do a startup. So having that person on the team that's cross-trained, that, like I said, that's the favorite of some of the patients that are out there, low turnover rate, those are all things that can help enhance the value of the practice.
Exactly. So, Derek, what are some best practices for ensuring key team members remain motivated and engaged during the practice sale process?
So you want to include them in on everything without overwhelming them. Sometimes being too transparent, you'll take somebody from a comfortable state to a fearful state. I mentioned in my last time with you that I worked on a practice in Atlanta with 15 locations. Well, we were the group. I worked with the exiting doctor as well as with the buying doctor with the group. So, but when the buying group came in, they were going to add a bunch of things. Like I said, nobody wants to invest $1 and get $1 back. So they made this investment. Now the plan is to grow. But they were bringing in sleep. They were bringing in emergency dentistry. They were bringing in other specialists. And so the urge is to be honest and upfront. But sometimes you can give the team members too much. You gave them too much, and that's something that you don't want to do. You don't want to overwhelm them, but you want to recognize their efforts. You want to communicate consistently. So talk to them maybe about improving bringing in a specialist first, and let them swallow that part. Hey, we're an ortho office, but we're going to bring in a pediatric dentist. That makes sense. But if you tell them we're going to bring in a pediatric dentist and an oral surgeon because we now need somebody to do the wisdom teeth after they get out of braces. Give them a little bit at a time. But again, you want to, and then consistently communicate with them. So maybe this time next month, we tell them that, hey, now that the pediatric dentist is here and things are going well, we're going to take the next step and we're going to bring in an oral surgery instead of referring those patients out. We're going to be doing those things here. And your level of responsibility is going to be relatively the same. However, there may be a growth opportunity for you as the office manager, because we're now going to have patients that we weren't used to having before. We're going to have younger patients, which means that there's going to be even more parents, because obviously when it comes to ortho, a lot of the parents drive their kids because they're teens to the appointment. But when they're babies, they're definitely going to be, the parents are going to be there. And sometimes the parents are going to want to be in the operatory with the patient. So if the office manager is prepared for that additional responsibility, sometimes that could mean a raise increase, or again, if you're doing performance-based bonuses, could be a bonus, could be additional title. You could move up to a regional manager instead of just handling things at the local office level. But be clear about the future and transparent. Yeah, I can't say that enough. We talked about that the last time. Be clear with them. If the last doctor that was there was completely happy with their services, but there's some things that you just don't like about what they're doing and you need them to make an adjustment, be transparent with them, let them know what's going on, and see if they're willing to make those changes. We talked again the last time about people that are unwilling to make changes. We want to stay away from those type of people. But to keep the team engaged and motivated, like I said, we can just be clear about the future and communicate with them consistently.
You know what I love about what you said? You want them to see the big picture, but you're suggesting that they get bite sizes of information at a time. It's like you put a plate of food in front of a child
who's hungry.
Take your time and chew and swallow before you take the next bite. Because if you're hungry and you're eating too fast, you're going to choke. And that's
you're gonna get a tummy ache, and you're gonna get that knock on the door 2:00 in the morning. Mommy, my tummy aches.
I love the fact that they're going to be well informed, but you allow them to process. You give them, then you vision cast as to what it could be and how they could benefit, and they process. And then you give them again, and then you show them. So there really is a method to the madness, not just saying this is how it is, but having a plan as to how you're going to unfold the information that is going to be different from what they're accustomed to be.
Yeah, one other thing, I didn't want to cut you off, but I do want to mention this. Sometimes a group can have plans to come in and do certain things in a practice. And then once they get to the other side, they may want to make some changes to the thoughts that they had. Hey, we thought bringing in a pediatric dentist was going to be a good idea, but we ran into this challenge. Whether that be insurance, credentialing, couldn't find an associate doctor that was compatible with what you're trying to do. But if you've already given the team the entire goal, like you said, if you gave them the entire plate at the same time while they were hungry and they're just eating away, now you need to go back and explain to them that we're not going to do certain things, taking you away from your responsibility and sometimes taking them away from their responsibilities.
Right. It's a tricky situation sometimes. Just determining how much is enough and what is too much and what is not enough.
Yeah.
So, you spoke about the fact that frequent turnovers, not a good thing. You spoke about the fact that cross-training is an awesome thing. You spoke about growth opportunities and team members wanting to rise to the occasion. So with all that in mind, in your experience, how does the strength of a dental practice's team influence its marketability and the selling price?
Understand who you are. You need to understand your title. Your name may not have a DR in front of it or some DDS letters behind it. But again, you are the engine in this car. Without this engine, there's a car. I'm gonna talk sports the last time. This time I'm going to talk cars. Hopefully the audience can resonate. Anyway, there's a car called the Bugatti. Millions of dollars, but it costs you $15,000 in tires every time you drive 20 miles or more. So a lot of celebrities and entertainers and actors and actresses will go out and buy this car and sit it in the garage to their friends that they have a Bugatti. Well, imagine again a car with no engine. The only thing you can do is invite your friends over to come see your car because it's not going to move without an engine. So understand who you are in that. Your name may not be paid employees there, but you are the engine in that car. A strong team reduces the buyer's perceived risk and the transition time. So if I'm buying a practice and I know that I have a strong team, I may have fluctuated or been concerned about certain things. But if I know that I have a strong team, we can replace the chairs. Oftentimes you can, even with proper marketing, you can replace the charts. But having a team and a culture that's beneficial to this office is key. So they're not just buying chairs and charts. They're inheriting relationships, workflow, culture. So understand your role. And the bottom line is this, and I've seen it and I see it every single day. A buyer will pay a premium, and you talked about this either earlier or the last time we were together. A buyer will pay a premium for a well-oiled machine that has a loyal and competent team. And that's a fact. So understand your role. You're not just Becky or Jessica or Jennifer or Kat you are the engine in that car. No matter how pretty it is, it's not going anywhere without you.
Exactly. Exactly. Listen, that is such a salient point. And I'll tell you that oftentimes patients will come in and they'll say, "Oh, doc, so-and-so," and they're so pleased. And my response is, "Thank you. The team will be so happy to hear." Because no man is an island. If your office is running well, it's not because of you, independently of your team. It's the whole team working together. As they say, teamwork makes the dream work.
Dream work.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to tell certain. But the truth is, we all have to work together to move forward, to maintain the value. And when it comes to the point where we are willing to move to the next stage, to convince the new buyer that this office is priceless, not just because of the equipment, because of the relationship that have been formed, because of the loyalty, because of all the human things that differentiate one business from another. Priceless.
Yeah, that's, believe it or not, you can't put a price tag on that. You can't lease it, you can't buy it, you can't rent it. So when a group runs across a well-oiled machine, trust me, their thoughts about, because everybody likes to think that they're overspending for everything. So when they buy these practices, they're already of the mindset that they're overspending on it. But again, you can help them with that mindset with the proper team. That's what makes them feel more comfortable. Not the patient charts, not the chairs, not even the numbers a lot of times. If they know that they have a team that's going to work with, especially if they're trying to, we talked about this the last time, if they're trying to develop a certain area and they know that they can take this person that's currently in an office manager role and make them a regional manager and let that regional manager teach the other office managers why she's having so much success in that one particular location. You just became that much more valuable to the entire team and to yourself and your family. Because when you can make an extra $2, $3, $4 an hour, or at Christmas time, get an extra bonus and be able to get your baby that Nintendo or whatever it is that they really want for Christmas, the pair of Jordans or whatever it is. So you become more valuable with the new team, but you have to do that. You have to make yourself marketable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In other words, the team needs to stay on the grow. Les Brown used to say, you don't start to prepare when the opportunity comes. You prepare so that once you get that opportunity, you roll in. So if you're doing great at your position and something happens and a transition takes place, you're going to stand out as somebody who is cross-trained, who does this seamlessly, who's so great with relationships with patients, So you're
the person that's prepared for anything. But like you said, they don't know this, but you were already prepared for it, not even realizing that it was going to happen. Exactly. But luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Say that again. Luck
is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Yes.
I'm going to let you steal that one. And that's going to be my Derekism for tomorrow morning.
Well, we're going to call ourselves even, because I remember on that beach you stole a thing or two from me.
Yes, I did. And if you give me an opportunity, I'm going to steal some more.
Okay, Derek, I'm going to have a little fun with you. Didn't tell you about before, but I have some rapid fire questions for you. Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready, sir?
Let's do it.
All right. Favorite food. What's your favorite food, Derek?
I am a true New Orleanian. I'm from New Orleans. I live here in Houston. I'm here by way of Hurricane Katrina. But I love food. And my favorite food is actually shrimp.
Okay. All right.
And so a lot of people don't know it, but there's this dish that's called emerald. Everybody knows most people know who emerald is. He didn't invent it, but he got it from here. It was pretty popular. It's been popular for a while, but it's called barbecue shrimp. So when you think of the word barbecue, you think of putting some shrimp on a grill and maybe slapping some barbecue sauce. No, that's not it. It's an actual dish. And if you ever have an opportunity, like I said, Emerald sells it at his restaurant, but if anybody ever has an opportunity to try barbecue shrimp, they should. It's wonderful. I love it.
Check it off. It's It's a high ticket item for Derek. He recommends it highly. So
Yes.
Derek, tell me a place on your bucket list that you have a desire to visit.
Wow. I like to tell people all the time that I've checked all of my boxes, but I have heard about this place called Bora Bora that I would like to visit before my time is up. So if I had to pick one place, that one would probably be at the top of the charts.
Okay. Is there any particular reason why? I'm just curious.
Just from what I've heard some people that have gone over there and they really enjoyed it. You know, the little tiki huts on top of the ocean, and the crystal clear blue waters. I like water. I don't have to live on a beach, but I do like the environment. I like, tank ties. I don't wear many ties. Hopefully that doesn't bother too many people, but I dress up when I have to. But yeah, if I could live my life in a pair of shorts, a tank top, and some flip-flops, I'd be a happy man. Like I said, I can take or leave the water, but that environment where you can walk into a restaurant and have on flip-flops and a tank top, that's really what I enjoy.
We got some of that going on down here in Jamaica. I'm just saying.
Hey, don't be surprised if I show up at your doorstep one day.
Knock, knock.
It's coming. I'm going to get out there in the near future.
I'm going to hold you to it, Derek. Quick question. What's the last book that you read?
The last book, I'm going to go with the book that I'm reading now, actually. Well, let me, before I do that one, I read my book every day.
All right.
So technically, this is the last book, but the book that I'm reading right now is actually called The Three Ordinary Voices of God by Matthew Kelly.
Wow.
It's a New York Times bestseller. I'm trying to, improve my walk with God like a lot of people are. So I'm early stage here, but it was recommended, if you'll allow me to say this, it was recommended by a guy who works he has his own company independent of Invisalign, but he's an exclusive provider for Invisalign. His name is Sheldon Crancher. Krancher. He recommended that book to me. Incredible guy. If anybody wants to look him up on LinkedIn, like I said, he does well with practices like Brian Hunter that wants to improve the number of clear aligner cases that come into their offices. And he recommended that book to me. As a matter of fact, he bought it for me. Okay. So I'm early stage with it, but I'll probably finish that before the end of this month.
Hold up that first book again. No, the other one.
Oh. Love it. That's by Mr. Derek Leonard.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah, this is called Startup 101, Ignite Your Practice. Discover a proven path to starting your own thriving, and I say here healthcare, you can put dentistry, your own thriving healthcare practice with no experience, no money, and no time. The reason I said healthcare instead of dentist is because while I work with dentists 80, maybe 90% of the time, I do work with anyone in the healthcare profession. We were talking about something earlier, I forget what it was, but this came to mind. I was talking to a podiatrist once, and she was telling me that the feet are the most important part of your body. And I forget what we talked about earlier, but we were talking about something being important. But I guess we're talking about the staff and how important they are. And she convinced me that the feet is truly the most important part of the body, simply by saying this: try standing up without them. It's like you got a point there. It'd be really difficult to stand up without feet. And imagine all the things that we do standing up. So, but yeah, feel free. Again, my book can be found at Ignite Your Practice 101.com.
Ignite Your Practice. IgniteYourPractice101.com.
101.com. So I just mainly put that together because like the services that I offer a lot of times are all or nothing because for the success of that practice. So, a lot of doctors would say, hey, my wife is a CPA, my brother-in-law is a contractor, my nephew works for Benco and he sells equipment. So I want to use your service, but you only offer all of. You know what? I'm going to write a book that's going to help you guys. So it's not a thick book at all. It's just, once it's probably less than 50 pages, something you can read on a flight somewhere, especially if you're coming from Jamaica to the States. You'll be able to read it 10 times over.
All right, I have one last question for you. What is something you wish that you could just have the opportunity to do it over? Gotcha.
That one I'll have to think about, but people ask me all the time, like all of my children at this point are successful. So people want to know, hey, what's the secret? And I'm bashful about giving an answer because I know at any moment things can change and it can go from having 3 great children doing some great things to, for example, all of them being locked up or hooked on drugs or whatever. So, but because my children turned out to be law-abiding, tax-paying citizens, and that's my dream, I can't really think of anything at the moment that I would want to do over for. If I had a child or 2 that didn't quite turn out right, that would definitely be the answer to my question. But my oldest daughter literally graduates from nursing school, LSU, in 2 weeks.
Wow, congrats.
My youngest daughter, which is only a year and a half under her, got her MBA from Sam Houston State in December. So 4 or 5 months ago. And then I've got a high school sophomore who is AB honor roll, Spanish honor roll, taking college courses, preparing to go to engineering school. And during summer camps, he's already learned how to build buildings and bridges. And not that education and money are the answer to everything. They're great people. They know that they can call me for any reason. Hey, Dad, I'm having an issue with this. Or I'm thinking about this. What do you think about that? Or I need some guidance here. They're great people. All of their friends are true friends and they would do anything for them. My son, he plays the viola and he's in the orchestra with his school. And so, again, all of his friends look to him for advice when it comes to certain things. I brought up Sheldon Crancher earlier. Sheldon is in a similar situation where his son is like the leader of the Fellowship Christians of America for athletes and things like that. And we were talking about Arch Manning, who is Archie Manning's grandson from New Orleans, and he's now at the University of Texas. And he was telling me that his son was in that FCA group with Arch Manning, and they slowly but surely became friends, and they can rely on each other because they're Christian athletes. And so getting back to the question, like I said, I really can't think of anything at the moment. Obviously, my walk with Christ, everybody can use a better path there and just to try to do the right things there. But yeah, my children are happy and healthy, and I couldn't ask for anything more at the moment. I really couldn't.
Derek, you've been an awesome guest 2 times over, and my audience is so appreciative of all the value that you brought during these past few minutes. Please remind us one more time where to find you.
The easiest is my name. So I usually start there, which is just Derek Leonard, and Derek is Derek. Of course, there's several different ways to spell it. Mine is the shortest and quickest, Derek. Last name is Leonard, Leonard. So you can go to www.derekleonard.com. and go to the contacts page. It has my personal cell phone number there. The parent company that's been around for over 20 years is Pro ABC. That's where everything started. So Pro ABC is just PRO like professional, and then ABC like the alphabet, proabc.com. The new and more fresher information is in a subsidiary of Pro ABC is Dental Startup Guy. We're doing some wonderful things there. That's just dentalstartupguy.com. If anybody wants a copy of the book for free, a courtesy copy, just go to igniteyourpractice101.com.
Wonderful. Always a pleasure to see you. Always a pleasure to interact with you.
we have to spend some more time together, Doc.
Is that a
And
promise?
we will. And we will.
All right.
Thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure. If I could do this all day, every day, I would. And I thank you. Can't thank you enough.
You're welcome. As if we didn't get enough the first time around when Derek was sharing, here he comes again telling us the team value when selling a practice. All right, and he emphasized the need for doctors to lead with honesty and integrity and show empathy when sharing with the team that a transition is about to take place. Remember to have open dialogue with your team, and when you finalize the sale of the practice, not before, because you do not want them to be unnecessarily anxious. A low turnover rate and cross-training are two very attractive facts to a buyer. And remember that team members need to be informed, but not overwhelmed. Provide steady, consistent updates about the selling process. The team is the engine in your car. And finally, remember, luck is actually when preparation meets opportunity. Life is better when we live, learn, and grow together. See you the next time. And if you haven't, subscribe and share with your friends.